look bad in your customer's eyes, or maybe it looks great in your customer's eyes, but it looks a little bit off in your eyes. That kind of makes for a bad web design. Or it looks great and the functionality is bad, or the functionality is great and it just looks bad. Or you have a website with great ideas but a bad execution, or bad ideas with a bad execution, and it just can snowball into a really horrible thing after that. So why don't you want to sit on top of a website that has bad design? Well, first, it makes you look outdated, especially if your content isn't updated. You lose credibility in your industry because you have an outdated website. And also, you lose money. You really do lose money when your website looks bad. Because if somebody wants to come and purchase an item or purchase your program, and there's so much stuff on your website that they just get frustrated and they're like, why am I here in the first place? And you could just lose them. What are some things that kind of fall into the whole bad web design? Again, there's no specific structure that says you followed these 10 steps, therefore your website is horrible. There's no list like that, but these are just some general practices that you want to have or not have on your website. So your content isn't updated. Your images isn't the images of your product, or maybe your images are images of your product from years ago, or your blog isn't updated, or your events isn't updated. A cluttered website is big and it drives a lot of people mad because you want to give people a focus point. You want to give them some sense of direction, because you don't want to have people looking around your website trying to find this one little thing and there's like 50 million things on your landing page. You want to prevent that as much as possible. Your blog. If your blog is out of sync, I fall under that category. I don't hate blogging. It takes so much to make it so perfect and it just takes forever. But anyway, you want to make sure that your blog is in sync and it's consistent, because when it's outdated, again, it makes you look, well, outdated. The usability sucks. If the usability sucks, like, you got to fix that. People need to use your website. So if the usability sucks, then you need to update it. And also, this is big for me, and I go through this with every single client. When I look at websites, I never look at it on my desktop. I immediately look at it on my phone just to see if it's capable for mobile devices. So how do we prevent all of this chaos from happening? Well, let's get into it. Well, first, you have to consistently update your content. Now, I am great when it comes to my website and updating how the look and feel of the website is, because I'm constantly saying that it's down, I'm fixing it, this is happening, that's happening, because I'm constantly updating the content that's on there. I want to make sure the brand is consistent with where we're going. We just had some new images come in for our branding, so we have to flip everything again. Like, you have to consistently work at it and consistently update your website to reflect what's happening in the business. If you are going on tour, on a speaking tour or a book tour, you have to reflect that on your website. Yes, it may take a lot of work. Yes, you might have to pay your designer or developer some more money to update it. But if you're having a good working relationship with them, then you should be consistently adding small changes to your website, so when something big happens, you don't have to go through this drastic change and you got to shut down your stuff and put this site is under construction on your front page. You don't want to have to go through that. So you want to consistently make small changes to your website, so when a big thing happens, you don't have to like lose your entire mind trying to change things on your website. So this prevents the clustering. Have a value proposition, which means that one thing that makes you special in your industry, call that out there, and have a CTA, a call to action. You want people to come on your website and do one thing. Maybe you want them to do a ton of things, but you don't want to overwhelm them. What's that first step? Give me your email. Check out my program. Learn more about me. Buy this product. One thing. You don't want to say like, hey, I got this speaking thing I want you to sign up for. I got this event that's coming. I got this book you want to purchase. I have this Facebook page I want you to like. It's too much. It's too much stuff. Too much stuff. Stop that. One call to action. Pick one. You might want to have some little fluffy stuff on the side, but have one call to action, because if you want them to come to your website and buy a book, the book is right there, it's nice and pretty, and you have, this book is about this woman who went through this life and she made it, and da da da, and then you want them to buy the book. But then you pop up with an email. Next thing you know, they're adding their email. Then you're like, hold up, I got shirts over here for you to buy. Then they're gonna start looking at your shirts. And maybe the shirts are like $30 and they didn't want to buy a $30 shirt. Well, they didn't went over here to the shirts and all their stuff, and they're like, this is expensive, I don't know about this. And then they click off your website and you're like, wait a minute, I just wanted you to buy my book. No. And then next thing you know, they're gone, and they forgot why they came to your website, and they're just gone. They're done. They're out. They're done. They're gone. So you don't want to distract people into doing other things on your website, because they're going to forget that initial reason why they were on there to begin with. Like, the average time that people spend on a website is, let me Google it. Thank you, Cody Ray Miller. I just looked it up on Siri, and Siri brought me to his article, and 59 seconds. That's how long people spend on a website. 59 seconds. So if you don't get them in 59 seconds, you done lost them forever. So you need to have one call to action. One call to action. 59 seconds. The third thing, and the most important thing, because I have spent 4 years doing this, so I understand how important this is, because I have seen the damage that it has done if you don't do this. You must test your website. Test. Oh my God, test your website. Test it on mobile. Test it on your phone. Test it on your friend's phone. Test it on your kid's phone. Test it. Click the buttons, fill out the forms, see what happens. Have somebody else test it. Don't test it yourself, because you know what you like and don't like about your website. Have somebody, if you can find somebody that is directly in your target market, and you can sit them down and have them go through your site, blessings. That is the greatest thing ever. Have them read through it and then ask them questions afterwards. What stood out? What didn't stand out? Did you like the price up front? Do you want the price later on? Do you want to see discounts? Ask the right questions. Test the right people. Don't just test your friend. Don't just test your partner. Like, test some people that fit within that market. Test different devices, different people, different browsers. Test all the things you could think of, because that is going to prevent a good 90% of your problems right there. When Geek Moms Co. first came out, oh my God, I put it on WordPress, and I went through 2 days of pure hell because I broke something. I didn't even know what I broke until Jetpack, like one of the plugins that WordPress has, emailed me and said my stuff was down, and I was getting bam, email after email. Your stuff is down, your stuff is down, your stuff is down. I finally get it up, and I'm like, my 2-day thing is over with. And it doesn't work on mobile. It was like a red bar and some random stuff. Like, it was the most horrific thing ever. Second story, I was working with a client, and I was coding the template. So you can code the template, you can do drag and drop, and I prefer the coding because you can control how it looks and all of that. So the biggest thing was getting it on mobile, and I got it on mobile for the template, but I couldn't get it on mobile for the actual campaign. But I didn't even see it. So I was just shooting off emails, like, boom, take them emails. And they looked horrible on mobile because I wasn't thoroughly testing my own code. Like, you have to come up with a review process for yourself. And I admitted that to my client. I said, I apologize because I don't have a good review process for the emails, because MailChimp only allows you to send so many test emails. So you have to be really, really precise on how you're going to test this thing out on mobile, on all devices. And MailChimp's mobile is different from my mobile. So then I found out on MailChimp, it was all kinds of jacked up. But then on the phone, it was okay. But then on my phone, you had to shrink it a little bit to make it work. And then I realized that it was a whole mess. I realized that the templates weren't updating in time for my campaign to get the latest version of that template and shoot off. It wasn't until 2 days later when it finally like cleared up that I was able to do everything. But all of that pain could have been prevented by properly testing. Like, you have to test because it's going to save you so much pain and so much headache. And it's just, I can't. So, how to prevent it? Consistently update your content, the stuff that's on your website and your blog. Also, test on all devices, all kinds of people, all kinds of things. Test. And come up with an actual plan. Come up with this is what happens when I review the content that's going out there. I know on my website, I want people to purchase a product. So I'm going to pull out my phone and go through the steps to purchase a product. What emails do they get? What emails do you get? Like, come up with a good testing plan for your website. So I'm going to hop off because I know I'm well over 10 minutes and LinkedIn only allows you to do 10 minutes at a time. So welcome to day 4 of 100 Days of Value. I'll see you soon.